For question number 8, we had to create a systematic sample with a size 10 dataset. The way we did this was we used a Google Sheet form that we got in question number 7. First, what we did was labeled it from number 1 to 260. After that, we selected value numbers, which is going to be 10, 30, 60, 90, 120, 160, 180, 210, 240, and then 251. For the next step, we selected one value from the first 10 values, and the code that and the sample that we used was going to be the random integer code from our IT calculator. So we did a minimum of 1, maximum of 10, and then 1 for the one value that we wanted selected. What we got from that was which was our answer 10. For step number 4, we selected every 30th value from the data set, which was going to be 30, 60, 90, 110, 150, 180, 210, and then 240. For step number 5, we selected one value from the last 10 values in our data set. The code we used in this was going to be the random integer code from the IT calculator again, and it's just what we did was a minimum of 250 and then maximum of 260, and then we put 1, and then what we got was 251. All the integers that were selected are going to be listed on step 6. There's just going to be 10, 30, 60, 90, 110, 150, 180, 210, 240, and then 251. Sorry. And then in the data set, this is a screenshot of the organized samples, which is going to show the 10 values, the number of values that were selected, and then this is from our data set. This column is going to be the numbers of the sample numbers that were selected. Moving on to question number 9, we created a stratified sample with the same number sample size, which is going to be 10. We used the Google Sheet again for question number 7. What this sample is basically dividing the population into 2 groups and then taking samples from each group. For step number 1, we labeled the data set from 1 to 130 for the first group, and then for the second group we did 131 to 260. For step number 2, for the stratified sampling of both groups were selected, we sampled 5 values from each group. For step number 3, we selected 5 samples from the first group by using the random integer with a minimum of 1, maximum of 130, and then 5 for the number of values that we wanted selected. And from that we got 1, 3, 72, 112, and then 128. And what that gave us right here is going to be the random integer numbers that were selected, and then in our data set what those numbers are, which is going to be 13, 23, 19, 0, and 0. And then for step 4, we did the same thing but with the second group. And the code we used was the random integer code with 131 to 260 with 5 for the amount of integers that we wanted selected. We got 137, 166, 185, 227, and then 257. Right here, it's going to show 0, 205, 11, and 19, and then 23. Those are going to be the numbers in our data set that were the numbers that were selected. And then right here is going to be organized sample, so an organized number of the 10 samples that were selected from the from the stratified sample size. Moving on to question number 10, we had to create a convenient sample with a size number 10. It's very similar to the stratified. The only difference is that we only selected one group and then took 10 values from the one group instead of both groups. So what we did for the first group is labeled it from 1 to 130, and for the second group we did it from 131 to 260. The way we selected one of the two groups is by doing 1 for the minimum, 2 for the maximum, and then 1 for the amount of variables that we want to selected, and that got us 2. So we're taking all the 10 values from group number 2. In step 3, the code that we used for the convenient sampling for the 10 values was a random integer code again. We did 131 to 260 and then a maximum of 10 values. The values that we collected is 131, 149, 157, 171, 174, and then 187, and then 213, and 225, 248, and then 259, which gave us in our data set 2.5, 9, 14, 0, 0, 17, 13, 22, 16, and then 32. Right here is just a picture from the Google Sheet in question number 7, and it's just going to be an organized sample, so showing that 10 values were selected and then the what values that were selected in the data set. Moving on to question number 11, it's basically just a whisker plot showing the shape of distribution of our data set. Here's a picture of the whisker plot with the total fat calorie units. You can see that it's more skewed to the right based off of the picture and the outlier over here. The 5-number summary for this is going to be minimum of 0, the quadrant 1 of 2.375, minimum or median of 11, quadrant 3, which is going to be 22.25, and then a maximum of 118, which is going to be this dot right here. The IQR is near the minimum values. The minimum value is going to be 0 with fat calories for the units. And then the maximum value is going to be the outlier of 118 fat calorie units. Because the IQR is more towards the minimum, that means that the distribution is more likely skewed to the right. With that, moving on to question number 12. We had to either use the empirical or the Chevreut's theorem. And the reason why we use the Chevreut's theorem is because our data set is more skewed to the right, meaning that we have to use the Chevreut's theorem. Because the empirical rule, it only works for if your data set is a normal distribution, which ours is not. The formula that we use is going to be the mean plus or minus 3 times standard deviation. Our mean is going to be 14.1654, and then the standard deviation is going to be the 14.2060. Right here is going to show it in the formula, and then what we got from that after calculating it is going to be negative 28.4526, and then the high bracket is going to be 56.7834. And because we can't have a negative value, we changed that to 0, which leaves us with our Finer interval of 0, 57. The way that we got the percentage for this is gonna be with the formula of 1 minus 1 divided by k to the power 2. We just substituted the numbers, which is 1 minus 1 divided by 3 to the power 2. And this got us 88%. So by using the Chevy's theorem, we had at least 88% within the interval of 0 all the way to 57 fat calories within a 3 standard deviation away from the mean. Moving on to question number 3. Question 13. Creating a confidence interval for the population mean. Using the confidence level of 90%. We had to find the critical values, sketch the critical values, and then standard deviation or standard error with all formulas. And then we evaluated the confidence interval of the mean by using C equals to 90. And the total number of our data set, which is n, is going to be 260. The DF of our data set is going to be n minus 1, which is going to give us 259. The CI, is going to be 90, because that's what we're looking for. And then our standard deviation is going to be 14.2060. The critical value that we got using the StatCrunch output with the t-value got us to 1.6508, and then the for the right side and for the left side we got negative 1.6508, and we're just gonna use the maximum, which is gonna be 1.658 for a critical value. Moving on to the formula of standard error. Our standard error, we got 1.4544. The way we did that is we put the formula is going to be t times 3 divided by the square root of n. We just punched in the values that we got, which is going to be 23.4513 divided by 260. What we got is 1.4544. And then we went to look for the confidence interval, which is gonna, and the formula for that is gonna be the mean minus the standard error, less than the mean, and then less than the mean plus error. We just plugged in the numbers that we gathered before in this problem, which is going to be 14.1654 minus 1.4544. And for the other side, we did 14.1654 plus 1.4544. And then we got 12.711, and then for the minimum and for the maximum we got 15.6198, meaning the confidence level or intervals that we got using the 90 confidence interval was the mean. For the mean is 12.711, and then a maximum of 15.6198 fat calories. We use C equals 90, and then A equals, or alpha equals to 0.10. Right here is the results that we got from the calculator doing the formula. Ending this video here, we're going to move on to question 14 in the next video.